Welcome to Escape to the Country. Now, this pretty house behind me was once the home of a country doctor who in 1796 made a scientific discovery of such magnitude, it's fair to say, he's probably saved more lives than any other human in history. But who was he and what did he discover? Well, join me in just a moment and I'll tell you. Today I'm helping an outdoorsy couple on a property search in need of a little direction.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah? We've lost her to the loo.
Sorry.
We're hunting for a home to bring the family together.
I love it. I love that window.
Yeah?
View.
Unbelievable.
With enough land to keep their animals happy too. I spoke to him earlier. He loves living here. Well, today we're in Gloucestershire, to be precise, in the small market town of Berkeley. And during the late 18th century, this house was the home of scientist and physician Edward Jenner. It was he who pioneered the successful immunisation against the deadly virus of smallpox. Using his own medical knowledge and country folklore, Jenner observed that many of the milkmaids working on local farms didn't tend to contract smallpox. Rather, they often suffered from a milder form of the disease known as cowpox. The genius of Jenner was that he conducted an experiment whereby he took a small dose of the cowpox virus and rubbed it into a scratch on the arm of a young local boy. Resulting tests proved that not only had he become immune to cowpox, but also subsequently to smallpox as well. Now, this discovery went on to rid the world of a truly horrible disease, saving the lives of millions of people. But what was the name given to his technique? It was vaccination, named after the Latin word vacca, meaning cow, and it all happened here in a tiny town in Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire itself sits between Herefordshire and Oxfordshire, where the River Severn flows into the Bristol Channel. It's a predominantly rural county, covering an area of just over 1,000 square miles, encompassing a major part of the Royal Forest of Dean and the Cotswolds, the largest area of outstanding natural beauty in England, where farming and forestry account for 95% of the land area. The county also boasts beauty in its architecture, from the 15th century Sudeley Castle, once home to Queen Catherine Parr, to the properties spanning several centuries in its villages and market towns. Examples include the honey-coloured limestone cottages of Bybury, described by William Morris as the most beautiful village in England, and the Georgian houses set around the village green in Frampton-on-Severn. At 22 acres, it's thought to be the longest village green in England. With all this, it's no wonder that for centuries Gloucestershire has been luring visitors and escapees to its green and pleasant land. When it comes to property prices, if only we could rewind back to the late 1700s, a house like Dr. Jenner's behind me would probably have cost him just a few hundred quid, low thousands at most, but well, how times have changed. These days, the average price of a detached property in Gloucestershire is some £393,000. That's some £44,000 above the national average. And the reason for that is the great looming hotspot of the Cotswolds, which dominates large swathes of Gloucestershire. Now, of course, if you want more value for money, well, heading west over toward the border with Herefordshire will not disappoint you. All of which is food for thought for today's buyers who've decided to make this part of the country their new home. Tim and Nikki have been married for 24 years. For the last 6 weeks, they've been renting this 4-bedroom house near Stowmarket in Suffolk after selling their family home near Westerham in Kent. But now they need to find somewhere more permanent. For 35 years, Tim commuted to London for his job with the Metropolitan Police. Meanwhile, Nikki was able to combine her career with her biggest passion.
Horses have always been a massive theme in my life. My work has always been my hobby. So I'm very lucky to be able to enjoy what I do and get paid for it.
As well as running a livery yard and boarding kennels, Nikki has worked with competition horses to a high level. It's a skill she's passed on to 20-year-old daughter, Jordan.
She's been riding as long as she can walk. She's on her first pony when she was about 2. She's very competent. She's ridden at a very high level, both here and internationally. Horses will always be part of her life, as the same as us.
Tim has been retired for 5 years now, so he and Nikki decided it was high time to sell up and escape the commuter belt. Although they know what they need from their next property, they've struggled to nail the location.
We've looked everywhere, anywhere from North Midlands, East Midlands, down to the southwest.
I think we're getting a little bit lost in the whole thing now. We've done a lot of house hunting. We're getting fed up with packing bags, sitting in B&Bs, looking at the computer, going to properties that really aren't right for us. So what we now want to do is get our teeth into a project and just get on with it.
They finally settled on the county of Gloucestershire, ideally positioned between relatives in Cornwall and daughter Jordan, who's at university in Essex.
We've looked around Gloucestershire. We've got friends that live in the county. We've actually seen that there's a lot to offer there. Beautiful countryside, the land is excellent, the people are nice.
And I'm led to believe there's some wonderful riding around the area.
It's away from the rat race, it's away from the mad and fast and furious southeast.
Tim and Nikki hope the move will give them more time to enjoy Gloucestershire's great outdoors, spending time with their dogs, horses and each other.
I think once we move, we're going to get closer. For 35 years I was working in London and overseas, so it's really, I think, time for us to get back together, become a family unit. If we do have a chance, if Jordan's back from university or we're not too busy outside, we like to sit down at least once a day together. It's nice really just to slow down for, even if it's 20 minutes, have a chat, find out what's going on, what we're all planning to do.
Hoping we can steer them towards the finest properties, Tim and Nikki are happy to follow our lead when it comes to location. Where they're less flexible is when it comes to their rather large wish list. Well, I think this is probably as good a spot as any, guys, to start. Now, animals and horses are the thing that's dominated your life so far, and that very much is at the heart of this move, isn't it?
Absolutely. The horses will probably always be number one, but I would like something that I could start to be a little bit more self-sufficient, have a little bit of land to put aside for a couple of maybe Dexter cattle, and then, without telling Tim, slowly build our stocks up again.
Oh, I see, so the animals may rise. What exactly are you looking for in this new move? Paint me a picture of the sort of property that you fancy.
It's a slightly smaller house, maybe 4 or 5 bedroom. Something with character, a little bit of quirkiness.
Now, Tim, you say properties of character, and you say you've been struggling. I do know that you have had a bit of a debate between yourselves before you got here about the pros and cons of listed buildings, and you've rather dismissed them.
Yeah, the fear of a listed building is you can't change anything at all. That's the worry.
That's the perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as a listed building owner, I can tell you, you can change quite a lot. It's really there just to kind of safeguard the features in the property that make it interesting, that give it its character. But just give me an idea of the sort of property that you envisage, Nikki.
A nice country kitchen.
Yeah.
I can see myself looking out of something over the fields with the horses and a few other animals dotted around.
Yeah. And what about outside? I mean, how many acres specifically are we after now?
I think 4 to 5 really manageable with the property, and then if there was any nearby or adjacent to it with a farmer that we could rent some additional, if the expansion process was going on.
You talk about expansion and more animals possibly.
Yeah.
How much are you going to spend on this potentially, Nikki?
1.1, 1.2 million pounds.
Wow. I'm pretty confident that this week we can try and find you what you're looking for with a fabulous budget and, you know, the region's property market at our disposal. We've got 3 to show you. Let's go spend some money, shall we?
Lovely.
Come on. So for their very handsome £1.2 million budget, Tim and Nikki are after a character property, preferably not listed, with a minimum of 4 bedrooms, a large family kitchen and a plot of at least 4 acres for their horses. We've got an enticing lineup of properties to show them, all offering a balance of house and land that could address their brief. But they'll have to guess each property's price tag at the end of the tour before I reveal it. Our third and final visit will be to our mystery house, a property they may have previously overlooked, but is certain to broaden their horizons. Our search begins in the village of Compton Abdale. The nearest amenities are in the market town of Northleach, just 5 miles away. It's one of the smaller towns in the Cotswolds, historically known for wool production, and its streets remain full of character, having changed very little since the 1500s. Back in Compton Abdale, our first offering is in good company amongst other Cotswold stone houses. We thought we'd start with this lot.
Wow.
Very nice. I like it. Interesting over there.
What, the end of the barn there?
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting, this one, because it's been much added to.
Yeah.
That actually looks like the new bit, but in fact, the barn end of it is the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then this was built in the 80s, and it's not listed.
You've been listening. You've been listening.
It also benefits from another courtyard with 10 stables around it.
Hey.
Can we have a look?
Come on in. Surprisingly, this conversion was only completed just over 10 years ago. And while it could do with a little external landscaping, the inside of the property has been finished to an extremely high standard. I think the setting here is one that could really work for Nikki and Tim.
Wow.
There we are, look. Imagine all the ponies out there, looking at you over your stable door, looking at them. So let's start, I guess, in the most obvious point, the kitchen.
First impressions? Very nice.
It's lovely.
Yeah? Oh, look at your smile. Yeah. And to remind you, this is the, well, the new bit. Pretty
Wow.
much.
It's been aged really well.
Do you know what I really like? They've taken the corners off the window reveals. So it almost looks as if it's made of lime cob. You know, it's got that sort of nice, soft feel.
It works.
It does work. It's lovely.
Well, look, there are some other quirks with this one. Let's continue through here and see what you make of it. The house is laid out in an upside-down L shape. To the back of the kitchen is a utility room and 4th bedroom or reception room. And along the front of the property, the kitchen leads through a separate dining room, perfect for entertaining, past a downstairs cloakroom to a cosy dual-aspect sitting room. Now, curiously, this place has not one but 2 living rooms. The second one is upstairs, which is crazy. And again, these lovely windows and great, you know, sills and stuff.
I love the sills. I could get my pictures, my photographs, everything.
Rosettes, cups, trophies.
A bit tarnished by now.
Yeah.
It's nice and light.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's tasteful. Very nice.
The quirky character features continue upstairs, where the oak flooring extends down the length of the hallway into a second living space above the kitchen. Now, in fairness, I don't think you will have been expecting to see this up here.
No, you're absolutely right. But blown away by it, really.
They've spec'd this up essentially with 3 bedrooms because they didn't need any more. So they ended up with this space. It's in the older part of the building, as you can see from these A-frames. Now, that way you've got another fabulous guest room. Jordan could have that, possibly. But the master bedroom is this way. Each of the 3 bedrooms are good-sized doubles and are accompanied by a large family bathroom with a corner bath. So this is the one we're brokering for you because it's got the bath and shower en suite as well. And just rather cosy, actually.
It is. I like the way that the wardrobes are
Cut in.
cut in there. It's quirky, it's cosy, it feels comfortable.
Yeah? And I think there's a bit to do out there which would, you know,
what we want.
allow you to make it your own. The next thing is to talk about land. Come with me. I'm glad the inside has met their approval because the outside is where it does get a little complicated. There's plenty of entertaining space in the stable's courtyard and to the side of the house, but the land that comes with the property is beyond another barn, to be retained by the current owner and is accessed by what would be a shared driveway. Now, it is a curious fact about this particular property is that the owner owns quite a lot of acres. He's not proposing to sell them all for the current asking price of this particular property. However, more is available subject to negotiation. But what he is prepared to sell right here and right now is the house, the track up to this point, and 7 acres that way. Nikki, would this sort of setup work for you?
We could make it work. And there's lots to do, but there's an awful lot to like about it.
There we are. Tim, would it work for you?
If she says so, yeah.
What do you think it's on the market for, madam?
Probably about £1 million.
£1 million, yeah, Tim?
I think a little bit more, maybe 1.1.
They're after 1.2 million. Go and have a wander around, and I will catch up with you a bit later.
Thank you.
Off you go. For their maximum budget, this quirky character barn conversion would give Tim and Nikki a possible 4 bedrooms and a number of living areas, giving daughter Jordan the opportunity to have her own space. It comes with stables, just over 6 acres of paddock, and the potential to purchase further land if they so wished.
I'm not sure about the land position in relation to the house. I mean, if you look here, it's nice, but it's open.
I've got to say, when I first saw the house, I got rather excited because it immediately started to tick some boxes, quirky courtyard area.
The house, it hit the brief. It was perfect what we wanted. Bit of quirkiness, rearranged the layout.
The land itself looks like it drains really nicely, but unfortunately, with the way that the shared access is configured, I'm getting a bit concerned about it.
Well, you two, how are we?
We're good.
Yeah?
We're good.
Not a bad one to start with. 2 more to come. Let's go.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
For centuries, farming has been at the heart of the life and landscape of Gloucestershire. The county is the only one in England boasting local breeds of 3 main livestock types: Cotswold sheep, the Gloucestershire Old Spot pig, and the distinctive Gloucester cattle. Nikki and Tim are keen to take the first steps to becoming self-sufficient and plan to start a smallholding when they move, with pigs, chickens and some Dexter cattle, Britain's smallest breed of cow. To find out more about these cost-effective, hardy animals, we've sent them to meet breeder Liz Stephen at her farm just outside Cirencester, where she's been rearing Dexter cattle for 30 years.
Hello,
Hi,
lovely
Liz.
to meet
Lovely
you.
to meet
Hello,
you.
welcome
Hi.
to Gloucestershire.
Thank you very much. So what made you choose Dexter's?
Starting out in farming, they were the ideal breed, really, because they're small size for one thing, makes them easy to handle, and they're also dual purpose, which means that they not only produce excellent beef, but they also have very good milk. Not that many people milk them these days, but if for the smallholders in the past, it meant that you could get both your beef and your milk from them, which was ideal.
And how much land do you think we should need to have a couple to start with?
As a rule of thumb, hello, I would say an acre a cow is a good rule of thumb. They're very good at converting this sort of rough pasture, unfertilised land. They're very good at turning it into beef. One of the best breeds, in fact, for doing that sort of thing.
Ideal for us then.
Absolutely perfect for you, yes indeed.
Lovely. Fantastic.
Originally from Ireland, Dexters were brought to England in 1882 and were bred commercially in the first half of the 20th century for their rich, high butterfat milk. Despite having a reputation for excellent quality beef, the breed came close to extinction in the 1970s due to their small size. With an average weight of just 300 to 350 kilos and a height of around 1 metre, they didn't conform to supermarket requirements and couldn't compete with Friesians, who are nearly 3 times their size. As the autumn weather sets in, Liz beds up the barn for the cows with some help from our couple.
Liz, what's the rule of thumb on feeding?
That's quite a difficult question, actually. I would just say that this gang here would certainly polish off the best part of one of those bales of haylage a day. How much they want to eat is a good guide. I don't tend to ration them too much. I like them to have what they need.
What about vet's bills and testing and stuff like that?
You're unlikely to have too much in the way of vet bills. The only thing you do have to be aware of is that this is a TB hotspot, and you don't have to pay for the testing, but they do have to be done. As it stands at the moment, it's every year. And if you're unlucky enough to have a TB reactor, that will then be every 2 months until you have 2 successive clear tests. It's just one of those things that you have to consider.
Dexters are an extremely maternal and sociable breed and prefer company with their own kind. Once endangered, they're now enjoying a revival in the UK thanks to their hardiness and adaptability. Plus, of course, their small size reduces damage to land, so they're an ideal option for novices like Nikki and Tim.
They seem very happy, they seem very quiet. Are they quite often like this? They are quite a docile breed?
They can become very friendly and you can become extremely fond of them. That is the big danger. You may think you're only going to have 2, but you could end up with a lot more. Shall we go and have a little chat to some of them?
Nikki and Tim certainly look at home on the farm. So it's time to press on with the search before Nikki's wish list of animals grows any longer. We're border hopping into my home county of Herefordshire, where on the edge of the Wye Valley we find the hamlet of Marstow. It's just under 7 miles to the Welsh market town of Monmouth, which boasts links to a number of historic figures, such as Henry V, who was born here, and Charles Royce of Rolls-Royce fame. It's also home to the only surviving 13th century bridge in Britain to have its original stone gate tower still intact across the River Monnow. Meanwhile, back in Marstow, Nick and Tim will be pleased to learn that I have a more contemporary offering for our second house. First of all, I want you to give me your considered opinion on that, chaps.
It's been done nice, isn't it?
I think it's really pleasant.
It's manageable, it's not too big.
It's not as big a house as our previous one, to be fair. However, it does come with 16 acres of pony paddocks, an indoor school, an outdoor school, all weather, and a really lovely bespoke range of loose boxes.
Can we have a look?
We can deal with the horsey stuff in a minute, but let's think about the building itself. We've got 2 ways into this one. We'll go through that middle door there. In terms of both the layout and finish, this 15-year-old conversion is stylistically a very different proposition to the first. The inside is essentially one vast open-plan room with an entrance hall to one end. But we're heading straight into the main living space. What do you think, guys?
Wow.
I'm a bit taken aback by it, actually, I must admit. I love it. I love that window.
Yeah?
View.
Unbelievable.
Have you ever lived in this sort of setup before?
No,
No.
never anything open. It's always had boxes within boxes.
Yeah. I can see this is intriguing you, Nikki.
It is. I'm trying to take it all in at the moment.
You know, it's not your classic country farmhouse feel, but nonetheless,
But it's
there are
comfortable.
elements that I think, you know, introduce that idea. You know, the kitchen you could spec up, you could go to town on it and make it uber contemporary if you wanted to. But this is a building which you kind of need to zone, I think.
It's different.
Come on, let's have an explore. Follow me down here. You can see the effect of all this lovely light coming into here. And it's just dominated by the flue there from the very funky fireplace.
I love that fireplace. And to have this split level is a new concept for me.
And it's quirky.
It is quirky, yeah.
So who makes the decisions in terms of what you buy? Is it you, Nikki, or is it Tim? Because I'm trying to work it out. It's you. OK, as long as you'll know that, Tim, it's OK, isn't it?
I'll just agree, it's a lot easier.
Good. Right, let's use that staircase and get up here. Taking the spiral staircase to the first floor, there are 3 bedrooms to one end of the house, 2 doubles and a single, all with vaulted ceilings and exposed beams, and served by a family bathroom. So as I say, you've got the other 3 bedrooms that way, but this is the master, complete with shower ensuite in there.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah? We've lost her to the loo.
Fantastic. The beams running through. All original.
Do you know what I like about this too? From the open plan downstairs, it suddenly becomes quite sort of cosy.
And private.
Yeah, up here.
Definitely.
And it's airy as well, it's not dark.
So we've, I think, satisfied your wishes. What about the ponies? They're going to love this, honestly. Have a look at the barn. On a plot of around 16 acres, including 7 separate paddocks, this property certainly delivers the agricultural space they're after. Come and see what we've got for you up here. And to top it off, there are some excellent equestrian facilities, including a 20 by 40 metre outdoor arena, a woodland area, and modern barn with stabling. So, madam, would this work then?
I think it might do.
Nice, isn't it?
It is absolutely stunning.
Let's talk to the resident, shall we? Look, got some beautiful horses down here. And I think your animals would be equally at home?
I think they would be, yes.
I spoke to him earlier. He loves living here. Should we go and talk about the price? Right then, let's make sense of this, shall we? So I think you'll agree, the paddocks you can see are pretty amenable.
We could definitely get our other animals in here. It works for me.
You wait, mate. There's going to be ostrich, llamas, all manner of wild stuff. Yeah. So, OK, let's talk about the price then, shall we?
I mean, it's around the million, just below the million mark, maybe.
I think it's higher than that. I reckon it's about 1.1.
Would you do it for 1.1?
I think so.
Well, let's make it a bit easier for you, because it's on the market for £950,000.
My goodness.
Happy?
Speechless, I think.
Go and have a wander. I'd have a look down there.
Let's give it a go.
And I will come and find you a little bit later.
Thank you.
Coming in an extremely comfortable £250,000 under budget, this converted 19th century barn has 4 bedrooms and a contemporary open-plan layout. And it does seem to have opened Nikki and Tim's eyes to the character that can be retained with barn conversions. It also comes complete with equestrian facilities and almost 4 times the amount of land they asked for.
What do you think?
I like it. And I think it's got everything that we need. And I think we could actually just settle down here.
This property, fantastic. It really is different. We've never considered a barn conversion. The kitchen's probably a bit small from what I would want, but at the same time, it gives us the ability to put our own mark on it.
The house aside, the rest of it just sells itself to me completely. And all this lovely land, the views, yeah, it does it for me.
Well, chaps, that is it for today. The sun is beginning to set, the shadows are getting longer, and that suggests to me a pint.
Or 2.
Or 2, to consider everything we've shown you. Come on.
Thank you.
Ready for tomorrow. I'm in glorious Gloucestershire with Tim and Nikki from Kent, who've searched high and low across the country for a comfortable character property with land for their horses. So far, I've shown them 2 tempting options for their generous budget of £1.2 million. But still to come, it looks like the overwhelming impact of our mystery house could leave Nikki lost for words.
Over to you.
And as our journey nears the finish line, I discover the reputed powers of herbal healing. Wow, that's such a pungent lemon smell, isn't it? I love it. Well, as we head into our final day of house hunting here with Tim and with Nikki, I'm pretty confident that so far we've given them 2 very interesting and viable options. But of course, the one thing we haven't shown them is the kind of property that they said they specifically didn't want, and that is something that is listed. Cue the mystery house, which we find back in Gloucestershire in the small village of the Lye. 5 miles north are the delights of the medieval market town of Tewkesbury on the confluence of the rivers Severn and Avon. The 900-year-old Tewkesbury Abbey stands proud in the centre, with its striking Norman tower, considered one of the largest and finest in England. The surrounding streets are scattered with black and white timber frame buildings, many of which are listed too. Now, I'm hoping our mystery house back in the Lye will quash all Tim and Nikki's concerns about listed buildings. Look at your face. And well, it might light up, Nikki. There you are. There is our mystery house.
Over to you.
It's all become a bit emotional very quickly, isn't it? What do you think of that then? Come on, Nikki.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Genuinely? I think it's beautiful.
It is, needless to say, listed, grade 2, but here's a story. When the current owners bought it, there were no windows at the top at all. They wanted to put in some skylights. The conservation officer said, why don't you put dormers in? That would look a lot nicer. So, if that doesn't reassure you that listed buildings are very amenable places to renovate and to live in, you know, nothing will.
I would just love to go inside and have a look.
Would you love to live here?
I think so.
Come on, let's see what you think. It will not disappoint you, I can assure you. This impressive mystery Georgian farmhouse dates to around 1790 and inside offers a colossal 4,500 square feet of accommodation over 3 floors. Yes, feel the grandeur.
Wow.
Oh, you can hear a pin drop listening to your minds whirring away.
It's lovely to see it taken back without the furniture.
Yeah. You are genuinely quite lost for words, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, now that's lovely. That's an old salt cellar.
Oh.
Yeah. Beautiful boot room down there, loo down there as well. And it all sort of flows through into the more business end of the kitchen with the additional electric range, as you can see.
The size of the windows, the view is amazing.
Yeah, and there, just, you know, some of your acreage, ponies grazing, looking over the fence, looking at you, looking at them.
It really is lovely. It works. Lovely farmhouse kitchen.
Let's go down here. This is rather nice. Bit of a family room, and this was the old kitchen, but they've now got it as a sort of TV room. And then above us, you've got this sort of mezzanine area with the spiral staircase. Great den for Jordan, actually.
Or me.
Or you.
But the floors are fantastic.
Again, just to, you know, drive the message home, you know, you can do an awful lot with a listed building. You know, it doesn't stop you making it a modern house.
I'd already forgotten it was listed.
There you go. Despite the modern twist, the character details keep coming as we head to the other side of the entrance hall, where there's a magnificent panelled drawing room with yet another fireplace, mirrored by a third reception room at the back of the property looking out over the garden. Moving upstairs, our mystery offering boasts 6 spacious bedrooms in total, 3 on the first floor along with the mezzanine study or den, and 3 in the eaves on the second floor, accompanied by a shower room, which leaves a large and very luxurious family bathroom on the first floor. Now, you know, to be honest with you, any one of these bedrooms is big enough to be a master.
Lovely big room.
Yeah.
Loads of light.
Also worth pointing out that all the windows, you know, throughout are double glazed as well. Many people think that can't happen with listed buildings, but guess what? It can.
It's a good size.
It's nice. I'm quite happy to give up a bathroom to have a room like this.
Well, you've got plenty to choose from. Haven't you? Let's go down now and explore outside, and then we'll talk about the price. Yeah. As if the accommodation inside our mystery farmhouse wasn't enough, it extends to the outside, where there's a further converted barn housing a gym with a loft room, and of course, the stables. So, Nikki, tack and feed room is in there. And then this really pretty stable yard. I mean, as they go, I mean, it's one of the prettiest I think I've ever seen, actually. But you can see it's got new block wall behind it, newly roofed, newly constructed, really. And then these 3 boxes. But should you need more, I think you could probably slot 1 or 2 more.
You could
That's
easily.
enough. There's enough.
You could easily partition off anything in there.
Yeah.
All enclosed, drains beautifully. Very nice.
OK, let's have a look at some land then. All in all, the plot extends to nearly 11 acres, so plenty to play with, including formal gardens, a duck pond, along with 2 separate parcels of land for the horses.
Wow. Again, I'm speechless.
Let's prepare ourselves for the final guess of the week. So, Nikki, how much do you want this one?
I want it a lot.
Yeah.
I really, really like it. It feels like I'm stepping into a dream, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to say easily 1.2.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more. I think it's 1,250,000.
You are absolutely right, sir. It is on the market for 1.25 million. However, I have spoken with the owner, who is aware of your budgets, and you'd have a very constructive conversation, I suspect. If you want it, it could be yours.
There you go. A lot of talking.
Right then, off you go. Go and have a wander down there, explore the land as usual, and I will come and find you a bit later. With a price tag just over their top budget, but well within reach, our listed mystery farmhouse really does have it all. With 6 bedrooms and generous Georgian proportions across 3 floors, providing plenty of space for the whole family, not to mention 10 acres of land for the horses too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's open. You've got the tree protection here.
Yeah, you've got, yeah.
But you can see where the water sits in the winter, and obviously the ditch line.
Yeah, but then you don't use this in the winter, do you?
There's loads and loads of good stuff here. Well, that was a surprise. The mystery house.
It was absolutely gorgeous. From my point of view, it ticks all the boxes. I absolutely love it.
The stable yard to die
I love
for.
the stable, yeah. Even though it's new, it's got really quirky character.
It's the water meadow issue. I think I'd have to look into it. I mean, it's doable. It is doable, but we've got to not jump in with both feet and look at it.
I know, I've got to open my eyes.
How are we doing?
Good.
Good.
So we've given you some really good options. Now all you've got to do is go and think about them all. I can help you no further.
It's lovely.
Yeah?
Thank you
Come on.
so much.
Let's go. These days, the herbs we buy are chiefly used to add flavour and colour to our favourite dishes. Yet for centuries, herbalists and apothecaries would have used plants and herbs' healing powers and medicinal properties for traditional cures, which today are often overlooked. Davina Wynne-Jones has had a lifelong fascination with the healing power of herbs, inspired by her mother, the internationally known garden designer and writer, Rosemary Verey. In 2005, Davina set up a secluded herb garden in her home village of Barnsley near Cirencester, from where she creates a range of natural remedies. Very nice to see you. What a lovely garden you have.
Thank you.
What was it about herbs that first attracted you to them?
When I was in my early 20s, my mother was collecting old herbals, and I was a printer. I was a letterpress printer, and I used to take the images from the herbals because they're woodcuts, and I made little cards from them. And it's just one of those things, the medicinal property of plants. If you're interested, you'd never get bored by it.
I'd love you to walk me through your garden, Davina, and give me a sense of the variety of herbs you've got and also some of their uses. I mean, where do we start?
At our feet, we have this red plantain. There's a lot of dairy cattle in the next door field. It's very good for their feet. They have sore feet. If you put a leaf in your boot, if you're going on a long walk, it will help any inflammation of the feet. It's also unbelievably good for bee stings or any insect bite.
So just moving on, what's the that beautiful kind of vibrant pink plant?
This is the echinacea. I always say this is the cover girl of the herb world. If there's any article on medicinal herbs, you always have a photo of the echinacea. It's very good for the immune system, mainly.
Now this is one of my favourites.
Rosemary. Yeah.
Rosemary. That's a lovely
It's
scent
good
too.
for the memory.
And what's the yellow plant beyond it there?
That's evening primrose. It's a cold pressed oil, so the oil will be pressed out of the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very good for balancing women's hormones and good for their skin.
So, I mean, it sounds so simple when, you know, somebody like you explains it. But I'm always fascinated, you know, when you think back in history, who figured all this out to start with?
Well, I think it goes back to the doctrine of signatures, where people, you know, would have known. I mean, it's like animals know what to eat, don't they? They haven't I think we would have just had a much stronger sense.
A greater instinct for the
much
natural
stronger,
world.
because we're so removed from it now.
Well, let's continue our wander, shall we?
Yeah.
Davina's garden is home to over 100 different varieties of herbs and plants which lay claim to a wide range of medicinal properties, including antiseptics to those for treating cuts and wounds or even stress. Her purpose-built garden room is the hub of all operations, where she takes the plants and flowers and produces teas or aromatherapies like ointments and creams. Well, this is a beautiful setup. Today she's extracting essential oils from lemon verbena, a herb which is said to be good for your muscles, immune system and to aid digestion. Wow, that's such a pungent lemon smell, isn't it? I love it.
It's used, you can put
Can you
it
eat
for
it?
baking cakes or, whatever. It's very,
Is it
very
good to
nice
taste?
flavouring. Yeah.
And what's this contraption doing?
This is my still. It's an alembic still, which I got from Portugal. Very similar to the stills that the Greeks and the Romans used.
I absolutely love it. So you've got hot water bubbling away at the bottom.
Yeah.
Steam goes up through the
This bit
plant.
is stuffed with leaves of the lemon verbena.
Yeah.
From there to there, it's like a sieve. The steam from here is going through the plant material, up into here, and down. It's still hot as it comes down, still hot. And then when it gets into this cylinder, which has a coil, this cylinder I'm feeding at the bottom with cold water, and then the hot water is going back out of the overflow.
Out the bottom,
Out
it's
at the
coming.
bottom, and you can see all the oil on the top.
The
which-
condensed steam with the oils in it. Well, it smells absolutely delicious. And what would you do with this oil?
Well,
now?
I have a friend who makes room sprays because it smells so lovely. I put it in a body lotion.
But that's the joy, because you can use all of it, can't you? You can use the water itself for sprays, as you say. You've got the oils, which you can add to other products, or I suppose
And the
use
oils are
meat.
The oils are generally a bit preservative.
Yeah, it's really, really lovely. So, armed with a greater insight into the fascinating world of herbal remedies and a chance to see the plants in their splendid natural forms here in Davina's garden, it's time to find out whether we've found Tim and Nikki a plot to make their own here in Gloucestershire. Well, even with a fabulous budget of well over £1 million, our buyers this week can, of course, afford to buy only one of the properties we have shown them. But which one is it likely to be? Well, here they are. So let's ask them. How are we doing?
We're good.
Yeah? Still good?
Always good.
Yes.
Well, quite a revealing week, I think, in some respects, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have we managed to find you a home that you would wish to buy?
I think you found us one that we want to seriously talk about again.
Well, let me guess. I think that would be our mystery house, isn't it? Now, just talk me through, Nikki, what was going through your mind when we arrived, because you were so choked with emotion, it was hard to get a sense from you as to what was going on up there.
I was just overwhelmed. I think it was everything I've always wanted, but never really have ever seen it.
And I think, Tim, you know, you weren't quite as emotional, but I dare say it was all going on inside.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Loads of character, loads of stuff that could be done with it.
I think the other challenge, though, that we needed to face up to was the fact that it was listed. And we have taken you on this journey of discovery. I hope, in a way that's reassured you, that listed buildings actually are something to embrace and to enjoy and to celebrate, and not to be fearful of or anxious about.
Yeah. We really need to look into it now and what we can do with a listed building rather than avoid it.
Yeah.
So, no, it's good.
Are we planning another viewing?
I think once we've done our research and we sorted out a few of the issues, we'd like to go back and have another long look around the property and the surrounding area just to get a feel for it.
Good, guys. Well, as ever, let us know how you get on. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Well, what a fascinating week we've had. We've all learned something, but I think, in particular, Nikki and Tim have learned that when it comes to listed buildings, there really is nothing to fear. After all, they record the architectural evolution of our landscape, and I think that is something well worth preserving. I'll see you next time. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland and need our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.